Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2007 horror film Dead Silence, a film that is written or co-written by James Wan and directed by James Wan. And James Wan, of course, is the very talented director that brought us the Conjuring films, Saw and the recent Aquaman. Now, I became aware of this film actually it was reasonably recently, and it was going through James Wan's filmography on IMDb. I think it was probably after watching Aquaman, and I saw this in his filmography and I thought, oh, I've never heard of this. And it was made after Saw and stuff, but before his Conjuring stuff, so it's one of those in-between type films. And I looked at the description and things and I thought, this sounds pretty interesting, so I made it my mission to seek it out. And what is this film about? Well, this film stars Ryan Quanten as Jamie Ashen. We have Donnie Wahlberg, yes, that's Mark's brother, and we have Bob Gunton. And this focuses on Ryan's character, Jamie Ashen, who you see at the beginning of the film is happily married with his wife, and he gets sent a mysterious package through the post. And this package is a ventriloquist doll, the very doll that you see in all these pictures that's on this review. Now, he comes from a town that is quite superstitious when it comes to ventriloquist dolls. They've got this strange poem going, and they have got this history of this woman in the past who was a ventriloquist that died under suspicious circumstances, and the town don't talk about it, all that kind of stuff. So there's all this going on, and he can't understand why he's been sent this doll. Pops out to get something to eat. When he comes back, lo and behold, his young wife has been brutally murdered and kind of turned into a puppet herself in a really brutal way. And he heads off back to his hometown to try and figure out what has gone on and how his wife has been murdered and how this puppet is involved. So he starts his own investigation when he gets back to his hometown. His father, played by Bob Gunton, is there. They don't get on. And he tries to piece things together from the history of the town as to the link between this dead ventriloquist lady, what was she called now, this ventriloquist? Mary Shaw, that's it, Mary Shaw, this really freaky character from many years ago who demanded to be buried with all her puppets, all her dolls, all 101 of them. And ever since she died and was buried, nasty evil things happened in this town. So, what did I think of Dead Silence? Well, I thought there were aspects of this film were excellent, really well made, and I would expect nothing less from James Wan. And there's other aspects of it really frustrating and silly and rushed, and it felt like half of this film was top class stuff and the other half had studio fingerprints all over it. For me, it felt rushed and cheap at times, and it was almost like the studio wanted it finished and out the door, which is a shame because this had so much potential to be outstanding. James Wan's such a talented horror director, but he puts a real great twist on this film. It's got a real gothic look about it. This little town that he goes back to, it's all abandoned and derelict and very gothic. And there's this really cool thing that happens when something's about to happen in the film. It doesn't worry about jump scares, this thing, because it builds you up to this point of tension. And when something's about to happen, you know it's about to happen because everything goes still and quiet. No music, no sound, and the characters in the film are completely aware of it as well, because they're like, really alert as to what's going on. And it's really cool how it does it in the film, and expertly done by James Wan. This doll, Billy, the ventriloquist doll, is supremely creepy. I can't tell you how creepy it is. Doesn't do an awful lot for the majority of the film, apart from, just turn its eyes now and again and look at things, or turn its head slightly, and because it looks so creepy, it's so effective. It really works, and there's expert tension building going on here from a very talented director. What doesn't work with this film is it's a tad predictable. The curtain raising, Scooby-Doo villain by the end as to who sent him the doll in the first place, etc. It's all a bit predictable, I have to say. Donnie Wahlberg is his character is terrible, and I think he's pretty terrible in this film as well. He plays a cop who is constantly after James's character. Jamie Ashen is constantly after him because he's the number one suspect in his wife's murder. But he does the most un-cop things ever, and it's just a terrible performance, I think, and it really lets down the film. It doesn't belong. And the ending is very, very rushed, and it gets a bit silly, and there's plot holes all over the place. And for example, there's this big theatre that's been abandoned for many, many decades, and the only way you can get to it is on one boat that takes you across this lake to get to the entrance, because the bridge has been collapsed for many, many years. And at the end he gets told to go to this place because someone's got proof that he didn't kill his wife. So he heads out there, shoots out there, and he gets in this one boat on this end to get to the other end. Well, did he not think, well, how did that other person get over there? Because this boat's at the dock at the other side. There's no other boats. But so it litters it by the end with silly plot holes, and it gets a bit predictable, and it gets a bit generic by the end, which kind of spoils it, because a good hour or so of this film was really, really well done, I think, and impressive visuals, impressive directing, and quite a unique idea as well. So it's a 7 out of 10 for me, guys. It had a lot more potential, and I do believe there was a sequel in the works as well, but it just didn't do well enough financially, so that's a bit of a shame. I did think there was potential here for this, but yeah, so that's my review for Dead Silence. It is worth checking out if you've never seen it before, especially if you're a fan of James Wan's films, and if you haven't seen this one in his filmography, it might be one of them that you might have missed. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll see you next time on Screen Stars.